Hey, welcome back to What the Flick. Siri and I welcome you back to What the Flick. Alonso Duralde, Ben Mankiewicz sitting in between us. Kelly AuCoin, Dollar Bill Stearn on Billions. Kelly, a longtime friend of mine, my acquaintance really.
Friend's a little strong.
Yeah. Welcome, my friend. Thanks for doing this. So I watched with you last night.
Right.
The Billions twice.
Yes.
I watched it Eastern time, and then we watched it again. And I thought, because you had to live tweet it,
right.
And I thought, well, I'm not going to watch it again.
And then you got.
And then I just sat down on my couch and watched it again. Right. So first of all, Dollar Bill this year, you had some good stuff. You have good stuff in every season, but it seems like for two things have happened. One, more scenes, more storylines. For Bill, and then I want to talk a little bit about the reaction people have been getting. So, so it is true. You have more storylines.
Yeah, definitely, and especially in the middle of the season right now, there's been more of an arc, and more. They've set Bill and Ari Spiros up in an antagonistic kind of romantic fashion that's been really fun. I've known Steve Kunken for a long time, but we've been friendly, but we've never done anything together, and he's just a blast. And it's a stroke of genius, I think, to put on the writer's part to put those two characters together.
It is hard to write a character who is the right level of awkward, like when Damian Lewis when Axe fired him.
Yeah.
Right. Like and he says you've alienated. Everyone in the you've ostracized. I can't remember which
like that, yeah.
Everyone in the office.
You watched it twice, Ben. Jesus.
I know. Like that. It's exactly right. He has, like most shows, make that sort of too over the top. Mm-hmm. But he is literally the kind of guy in an office where you're like, everything you say makes me a little crazy.
Well, it's like whoever plays the boss on The Office. It's that thing of like the wrong joke or the wrong thing. Yeah, some people just have a gift for that. And so
and he's tone deaf. He never figures out how to actually learn from those mistakes. It's like, oh, right, next time I'll come at it this way. It's always
even his saving grace on the way out. I'm all the Wilburys.
As he's been shoved out by the security guards.
That said, Dollar Bill is a rotten, awful person.
He's not. He's loyal. He's a bottom line guy.
Come on, it is. You are like walking late stage capitalism with a face that can be punched. Let's face it.
Oh, you read that tweet?
Oh, is it real? Oh, no, I thought I meant that.
Yeah, that was a Pastor Tim from the Americans quote. The first time I was on 3-4 years ago, there was a tweet that came out, like this whole discussion on Reddit about whether or not I had a punchable face.
Oh, right.
It's my hair. But I think now we know it's my face.
No, so he is obviously symbolic of all that's wrong. I mean, just again, high-fiving the disaster wherever that was, right? That you had shorted some company that was done in by a volcano or whatever it was. And the glee in that is capitalism at its worst. But at his core, there are some redeeming qualities to Bill, and and this is free for Brian Koppelman and the team there. Like I would watch the I've already cast it the Dollar Bill spinoff, managing.
Is this a sitcom about the two families?
About the two families, right, totally, right, and. We already have some great scenes where he's like, where
I'm here for the dinner party. What dinner party? Oh no!
Right. Maffei comes late to the barbecue. I went to the
wrong house.
Wrong house. Right. That's right.
Come on.
Yeah, that's right.
You had the beer.
Right. And I got one wife, totally gets it, is delighted. She's a ball buster to him, but she gets that. Hey man, I get for 3 or 4 days a week. I get a nice life. He's committed. To be honest, I love the 3 days that he's gone. Right.
Gives me a chance to miss him.
Right. It gives and so, but when they have a fight, she says to him things like, don't talk to me like that. I'm not Amy.
That might fly at your other place, but not here.
That's right.
This may fly with Heather, but not with me.
And the other one is constantly trying to get him to leave the first one just to be with him, right? And probably having an affair. Anyway, I got it. It's going to be. It's going to be.
You're good in a room, Ben.
Now, obviously, we won't put you on the spot, because I want to criticize Billions a little. But like, so let me ask you. I'll ask you this way: Is it? Do you guys know when one episode works? The only reason we do this is because we like it. Mm-hmm. Do you guys know when one episode works better than another?
It's a good question. I don't know. I know that I watch in a different way than most people watch, probably. I know the scripts. I know I've been involved in the rehearsals and the shooting in certain cases. and I'm a fan of the other guys, but I do know what's coming, so I don't come to an episode fresh like you do.
Right.
So I it's hard for me to say. I mean, there are certainly I have favorites. And they all tend to be episodes Dollar Bill has a lot to do.
Weird. Do you?
So you know what? I think the answer is yes. I think the show works less well when Dollar Bill is not on screen.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
Now,
just in general.
do you guys even think in terms of episodes, in terms of like, are there specific sets where, okay, we've got this for a week, so we're going to shoot, 2, 5, and 8 here, or is it always like you start over every time for a new episode?
We do. There's crossover, and certainly they take advantage of the time they can have a location, especially if it's something around the city.
Yeah.
And then they'll build a set for, like they built in last night's episode, they built the man cave, which is in Bill's other, it was on the back of, I think I took a picture of it, but on the back of one of the walls it said Bill's other garage.
Oh, is that right? Yeah.
I love the fact that it was like, other than what?
Garage B.
Yeah, so you shoot out that ideally so that in a day or two or as fast as you can, so that you can build another set. But it's not doesn't happen chronologically.
I had another idea, Alonso, which you'll also enjoy. I told Kelly
Lay it on
last
me.
night too. Honda Odyssey markets the Dollar Bill edition.
Oh yes,
right. And
With room for 2 families.
right. Well, I like that even better. Like it's got a 3rd row of seats and a 4th row of seats, and
You know why?
some sort of partition.
but also that it's just you can hook it up like it has Bluetooth for 2 phones.
There we go.
Come on. I'm giving it to you, Honda. I'm giving it to you.
different Spotify lists for the different ones.
I was thrilled, by the way. You're not the only one with friends and TV shows. My buddy Michael Cyril Creighton, as Yancey, the lab guy that you bribed for the bunnies.
Great.
Oh,
it was
right,
so
right.
fun meeting him. He's a wonderful theater actor
He's
as
terrific,
well.
yeah. And he's shoebox guy in The Post.
Oh yes, that's right. Yeah, there were a bunch of people.
So
he was great.
And it's I can tell by the way you've talked about it, but it's a good cast.
It's
and
the
Damian Lewis, who obviously, but he interacts with you guys regularly, and he's.
Yeah, no, it's a fantastic cast, top to bottom. We go see shows together. Dan Soder is hysterical. He's a hilarious stand-up.
Who's that?
He plays Mafia.
That's Mafia. That's what I thought it was.
A bunch of us went down to Philly to his Comedy Central hour-long special taping. We see him.
Is that out yet? I'd watch.
Yeah, you see it. It's like 2 years old now. And the Netflix special, the stand-ups, is half hour. It's even better. They're both great, but that's my favorite. We all hang out. It's great. And I'm going to go see Ben Kim's play in, I guess on Thursday when I get home.
Watching last night with you, which was amusing, but like every
But that was
scene-
just because I was drunk.
Right, that guy had some martinis during the day. He spent Mother's Day drinking martinis at my house. Do you want another one?
Oh,
I'm
that cliche?
Kelly,
that old thing?
Kelly would be
Yeah.
like, do you guys want another one? I'd be like, no one's had one except you. There's
All right, I got it.
There's no another. Yeah, that's right. But many of your scenes, which were I thought all good, the ones with Ari and I guess that was really all of them yesterday, just about.
Pretty much, yeah.
But you'd be like, that was so much longer.
Oh,
Right. yeah. So is that, I imagine that stuff is written and shot as on the page, and then it's pretty much cut that way. I guess obviously sometimes you might go over, but they don't write a script knowing that it's going to be 66 minutes if it's only a 55-minute show. So I was surprised that much out of scenes sometimes got cut.
Yeah, there's always stuff that's cut, and it's amazing. I mean, look, I want every moment. I want twice as much of everything. I want 2 takes of everything I do to be in a scene, of course. But when you watch, these editors are brilliant, and it's the same thing with the Americans. You watch them cut, and of course my initial response is, "Oh, but that was a really funny joke," but then you watch it as a whole, and it's like, "Oh yeah, it plays better." Like Spiros and Bill had a whole scene. A whole other scene after we left Axe's office where he's getting, we're just we're in the office.
So like going down the stairs, you went down the stairs, you're in the
into
office.
his office,
Right.
and we sort of have this moment. I can't remember exactly what the lines were, but an acknowledgement of how weird it is that we are now
allies.
allies. And it was really fun, but you didn't need it.
Right.
And there's a great moment that I sort of remembered, but a take when we're going down the stairway, and Spiros does this, and he almost hits me in the chin. And it's like it's just sort of a perfect encapsulation of where their relationship is.
And then
It's better than that scene because it's like you get the idea that there's a thawing, but they're not perfectly simpatico.
Right.
So it's perfect.
And then I think the button on the scene was Axe to Wags, still not a Wilbur.
Still not a Wilbur.
Not even close.
And then they cut to the stairway, which was interesting.
Yeah.
And it was like proof that, of course it's not a Wilbur. He almost hit his ally in the face.
right, yeah, that's right.
But it's interesting that you've got this FX show where if episodes need to go 70, 75, 80 minutes, the network will let them do it. Whereas I suppose Showtime, for various reasons, seems more constricted to the hour-long.
Talking about the Americans on FX.
Right. I don't know. I'm curious. I haven't looked at the timestamps of the episodes. I'd be curious.
Yeah, the Americans is, I mean, you always look at your DVR and it's like 10 to 11:17. Like it is not a normal
We're going to end this when we damn well feel like it.
We are ready to wrap this up.
Final season. No, but it also, so some of it might be saving time and they just have to get it cut, I suppose. But also, I think particularly in this case and in most cases, it's like it just is. It's better.
Sure,
it's more
the pacing,
streamlined.
I get it.
Yeah.
So you, since Alonso brought up the Americans, we're going to get to come back to Billions in a second. Can you say, or with 3 episodes of the Americans left, we've not seen Pastor Tim. Do we get Pastor Tim this year?
I could tell you. I would literally have to burn down this building before the tape ever got out.
Was the end of the episode, end of the series taping, whether or not you were in it, like
emotional, right? Or there was.
I assume there was a party that you were invited to.
The party was
whether you were in or out, you would have been invited to the party.
Yes. And actually, I got to go to certain table reads when I wasn't over the course of the whole time I was on. I got to go to table reads when I wasn't involved, so I actually know how it ends.
Okay,
which was great. I mean, part of me as a fan, because I think I've told you it was my favorite show on TV when I joined the cast in season 2. So as a fan, there would have been some fun in being surprised along with the rest of the viewing audience, but it ends well. And I don't mean, I'm not saying how that well is, but it's a satisfying.
But for all of you who were involved, was it a sort of a heart-rending moment to get to the end of it all?
Yeah, I think so. I'm sure that for Carrie and Matthew, there was probably some relief too. This was a grueling schedule.
There were some wigs set on fire, probably.
And there was some wigs set on fire. I tried to abscond with my wig, but
your wig is nothing. It turns out compared
to all that.
Who is Stan's girlfriend's name or wife? I don't know if they're even married. What's her name?
Lori Holden is the actor.
What's the actor character's name? I don't remember. Gina, Stina.
I can't remember.
Anyway, so obviously. She kills Stan, right?
Obviously. Obviously. Then she comes to Argentina and she kills Pastor Tim.
She was Brezhnev all along.
She's going to take Stan out. We only got a few minutes left, so I want to get to the community. Where have you noticed the most? Because you have this character, which is not even, as you inexplicably not even a series regular, but a recurring character that has critical storylines that is more valuable to Billions than some of the regular characters. I'm just saying. And if Billions knows what they're doing, they'll remedy this. So even though this character has found an audience, I mean, who is that audience?
Well, the obvious ones. It's true that a lot of the finance guys, a lot of finance people,
like you see
men
them,
and women,
and they see you, and they're like, and you can tell.
At my gym, there are a lot of finance guys in Brooklyn, and I just told you, not 2 months ago, someone saw me across the way, 30 feet away, and was like, "You're such an a-hole," and didn't say a-hole. And then I was like, I'm sorry.
What did I do?
Wipe down the equipment? What? I'm trying to get stronger. And he's like, "No, I love the show." Hey, And
you're a Portland Trailblazers fan?
Yeah, I went to see a couple playoff games with the Portland Trailblazers, and there were a lot of guys. In the finance community who had these, around the court side, and they were like, "Oh my God, it's Dollar Bill, like Dollar."
Come and sit with us
Come
next
sit
game.
With me, yeah.
Right. So it is the people who you'd expect to.
And as apart from the a-hole guy, are they fans in a no, you're doing everything right?
Right. Yeah. It's like I learned a lot from you.
Exactly. Yes.
But there are other people. I think I do not particularly share Dollar Bill's moral code, but I enjoy the show. I think there's a certain cathartic. There's something cathartic about rooting for someone who will smash another guy's car just cause.
Sure, and also we've learned now the good guys, as established in the beginning, really good guys. I mean, what you want is a different system where neither of those people behave like they behave, right?
And I don't think anyone's let off the hook on the show.
No.
Everyone, there are consequences. Everyone every time you think they're getting one up on somebody, they have to suffer consequences. So I think that there's some criticism built into the show as well.
No question.
Yeah, the hero of the show is burn it all down.
Yes,
that's right. That's right. Right. The hero of the show is Bernie Sanders. That's right. It's my favorite. My favorite Billions character.
You see?
Yeah. He'll show up in the finale. Don't tell anyone.
So we got 1 minute left, Kelly. This is the conclusion of season 3. Billions is going to be around a while. Yeah.
Yeah, we were renewed for season 4.
Nice.
We start shooting, I presume, in September if we follow.
And these guys presumably have a vision for more than 4. Like they got a plan for.
I don't know. They haven't said specifically how many they want, but definitely some more seasons beyond this.
This is the kind of role. I mean, we've been friends for a long time. You've had a lot of good roles. Has this changed anything for you? Do you get different kinds of calls? You get.
Yeah, definitely. And it helps when people know that I've done both Dollar Bill and Pastor Tim because the roles are different. It's just the wig, but it gives the illusion of flexibility and acting, of range. So things have changed. I've had more straight offers, which has been nice because auditioning sucks.
That's good. Well, it's good. You've always had
take 'em.
You've always had the illusion of range. And,
your fake depth.
Always impressive here. Yeah. Pastor Tim on the Americans, and for this Dollar Bill Stearn on Billions. He also put the cuffs on Bernie Madoff in.
And Live to Tell the
What was that show called? Quickly?
The Wizard of Lies.
Wizard of Lies on Robert De Niro. Thanks for watching, everybody. What the Flick, and we're back in a couple of days with more of this. Thanks.